Okay, I'm going to now add a different effect, which is a combination of the two. I think I will go with that one. And just to show you, I'm not going to give it a shadow. I'm not going to change the background color. What I want to do is when the user hovers on it, add a border of solid 2 pixels white. So the one we had originally on the first design and then I removed, and change the color to goldenrod at the same time. So changing the text color and adding a border at the same time. So basically 2 changes as a result of the hover, which looks like this. Okay, so this is one thing you could go with. That's giving you 2 changes at the same time, adding a border and also changing the color. Okay. You could also add a transition time if you don't want your hover effect to happen immediately. So you could go with, for example, 300 milliseconds if you want to have a slow, gradual transition for the change of the color or anything. We will probably come back later on and try those transition effects that will give you some animation effects on the hovers too. But for now, let's stop the design of the button here. And one last thing I want to do before we go to the next part is add some margin top for the button so that it's basically adds some distance between what text we have on the top and the Order Now button. I think they're too close. So let me just go here and add a margin top of, let's say, 3 EM. Hopefully it's not too much. Let's take a look. Okay, it didn't give me the margin I wanted, so I'm going to inspect again to see what is causing that. So here's my button. And I'm going to look at the CSS. And I do have the margin top, but seems like it's not giving me what I wanted. So I have different solutions here. I just want to test and see if my HTML is structured correctly. I have my A, and so I should have my margin on the top. One other thing I can try is to add a margin bottom to the H3, which is on top of that. Let me just test it with an inline CSS. So if I add style is equal to margin bottom equal to 3 EM. Let's see if that so that pushes the button down. So my button, or better say my A tag, didn't directly follow my margin top order. Now there could be different reasons for that, but one quick way to fix it was say, okay, never mind, you don't add the margin top over here, so I'm going to add a margin button from the element on top of that, and we can come back later and investigate to see what was causing that margin top problem. But at the moment, we quickly fixed the issue by adding one rule for the element on the top. Now, one other thing I want to do is, because I still see some empty space here and I don't want to have a lot of it, one thing I want to do is to make a little bit of a change on this image. And I don't want to crop the image because that might distort the dimensions, the width and height dimensions of the image itself. So instead, I want to I didn't want to change the height because it will distort the width if I force it, or it will make the width lower. So one thing I could do is to crop out parts of the image without changing the width. I want the width exactly what it is. I just want to cut some part of the image on the top and maybe at the bottom so that it's not as high as it is at the moment. So it's making it a little bit shorter. So it's very tall at the moment. So let's go ahead and open the image that we have in the project folder. So it's already in use. I'm just going to open it with Paint, one of the easiest default applications that you can find on your Windows machine, or something similar to that on your Mac OS if you're using a MacBook. And what I'm doing here is I would like to select right from the corner of this image, but I want to cut part of the top and go all the way down to maybe here. So basically I want to cut the extra part on the top and at the bottom. I crop this image and this is the result. I will close and save it. And if I go back to my screen now and refresh the page, I should be able to immediately see the change here. And there you go. So now my image has exactly the same width as before. I just removed some part from the top and the bottom of this image. So nice. Okay, this is much better now.